Hi, it's Mark Owen from Moose, Marketing NPR, the editor of Punchline magazine, and welcome to Punchline Talks. Today, I'm joined by Siobhan Baillie MP for Stroud, and today she's been in the House of Parliament laying out and presenting to the House of Parliament the online safety bill to the government. Thank you for joining us, Siobhan. Siobhan, I watched your speech today. It was terribly moving. You got upset, John. I'm not surprised with some of the content of that. Could you tell our viewers, please, all about the bill and your part that you're playing within it?
Yeah, I mean, the bill is designed to reduce anonymous abuse. So the government is already doing an awful lot of work with something called the Online Safety Bill, and that will make a massive difference to reducing abuse online. But I believe we need specific measures to tackle anonymity and anonymous abuse, not banning anonymous accounts like some people want, but actually giving people the choice to verify their accounts. So having blue ticks like I've got and other MPs have got, and also having the choice to only follow or be followed by verified accounts. And what that would do, it would provide a deterrent. You wouldn't be so abusive if you knew that your details were being held. It would make it easier to trace you if you were then abusive, and it will dramatically reduce some of the anonymous abuse that we found. And the reason it's important, and the reason I found it difficult to talk through some of the things people have told me, is because it is just so horrific. So I've got, amazing Stroud constituents came forward to talk to me, and these are everyday people. We hear about the footballers, we hear about the celebrities that receive abuse all the time, but the everyday people, a social worker, a veteran, school children in Stroud, who sort of are desperately seeking government and Parliament to try and protect us all online. And the particularly upsetting stories that I mentioned was about parents where they've had dying children, or where their children have died, that receive trolling and abuse. And I mean, it's just unimaginably cruel. And again, a mix of celebrities and also people like us who have suffered the worst horrific fate, and yet there's some people think it's okay to sit and be keyboard warriors and be just disgustingly horrible to them. And if there was no other reason to try and tackle this stuff, it would be that.
They wouldn't say it to your face. That's the whole point, isn't it? They wouldn't say it to your face, and so they suddenly think that it's okay to say it hidden behind the screen. I mean, what about the argument about free speech, that we should be able to say whatever we like?
Yeah, I mean, so exactly what you've just mentioned about people not saying things offline that they would say online. There's something called the disinhibition effect. When you're behind an anonymous account, people feel a lot freer to say things, and the impact of that is it's having a very negative effect on freedom of speech. Now, all of us would protect freedom of speech. We would absolutely fight to protect that. But as it stands, there's quite a lot of people, particularly women, who have to think twice about what they say online, because often speaking out will result in death threats or rape threats in the horror show that you will have seen sort of in comments for other people. So there's no freedom online at the moment. There's no free speech if we're having to censor ourselves or we're worrying about what we say. So this is where I think giving social media users, giving us all some choice or some control over how we use our social media, more control, because there are controls already, but giving this verification control and the ability to switch off people that are not verified, I think is just another tool, another sort of piece of armory that I think will be really important.
So what's the next step then? I saw your speech. It's gone. The bill's gone through. What happens next?
So there'll be another reading of that particular bill in March, on the 18th of March. So I'll be back in the House laying that down. But in between times, it's my job to really try and persuade government ministers to adopt this work into their online safety bill. Now, that's quite a tall order. As you can imagine, social media companies are pretty fixed on their business model. They don't want to have people have the control of turning off, not being able to see thousands of users. We also know, and I said in my speech today, that Facebook estimate about 5% of their users, which I think is about 144 million accounts, are inauthentic. So they don't even know who these people are. So any additional protections is likely to damage social media companies' business model. I don't think they don't care, but they haven't shown that they will do everything they possibly can. So I've got to persuade social media companies, government, colleagues to back this, and also try and bring the public with me, which, if we can do all of that, then we might see government adopting some of this into the online safety bill, which we're expecting to come before the House properly next year. I mean, that is going to be a huge ding dong. Where you mentioned freedom of speech, there are a lot of people, outside of Parliament and inside of Parliament, that are very worried that this particular bill, the larger online safety bill, is actually going to curtail freedom of speech. It's going to give a lot of power to regulators, and that the internet should be a free-for-all. And some people feel very strongly about that, and I respect their views, but I also respectfully disagree. I think that it's so damaging for people's mental and physical health now. I think it's incumbent on us to try and find ways to protect.
Well, I've had the same type of thing as well. Trolling, it's absolutely awful. I can't imagine some of the stuff that you experienced as well. Siobhan Baillie MP for Stroud, thanks ever so much for joining Punchline Talks today.
Thanks so much.
And good luck.
Thank you.